cash on my cash stack. High yields on stable coins, yeah, that's where my bag at. All I really need is Wi-Fi, get money on DeFi, mega cash on MetaMask. You better run when the runners run, show you how to get your money up. Dollar inflated like bubble gum, markets are jumping like double dutch. Buying up gold till I get a ton, crypto, yeah, I got some. You better run when the runners run, you better run when the runners.
Welcome in, everyone. It is Tuesday, August 27th, 2024. What a time to be alive. So many amazing events happening. And here's what I'm just pumped about, Mims, is I'm so positive that we are winning. It is so obvious now. The Democrats and the deep state have been exposed. Anyone who has eyes or ears to hear has got to know the truth. What's up, brother? How are you?
Yeah, brother, I'm just as optimistic and fired up and excited as you are. This is the time, man. This is an apocalyptic time. It's a great awakening. You know what I mean? This information that's coming out, these corrupt politicians are being exposed. And it's like you said, what a time to be alive, man. What a time to document this, experience this. I say it all the time, and I don't know if it really hits, but we are living in the most significant time period ever in history. There is no time period like this. The whole world will be shifted into a whole new paradigm, and we are in that time period. So I'm fired up and excited for tonight's show, brother. I love the shirt. Mainstream media's propaganda. Don't get no clearer than that.
That's it, man. And we're going to bring you guys the truth tonight, but I want to start on a super positive note to show you how decentralized, whether it's marketplaces, economies, currencies, can make the world a better place. So, Mims, I saw this today. This is from Based Brett. Okay, Brett is probably one of our favorite meme coins that we called out super early and help people make lots of money on. Guys, meme coins are building wells for people to get fresh water. So this is a literal meme coin that has built 5 villages with water. So listen to their story here. This is truly amazing of what can happen when we shed our government overreach and tyranny and actually work to help everyone. See the meme on the water tower with the base Brett?
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín gidigidi nǹkan bí aago mẹ́rin báyìí á dìde torí àrùn mi pọ́n á bẹ̀bẹ̀ atọrọ lọ́wọ́ wa ẹ dákun ẹ rẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́ kẹ́ ẹ pomi láwọn ẹni tá ń dìbò fún.
And I love what she says here, Mims. We voted for those people to provide us water. They did not answer us. And that's what we have to understand is in the end, government will never be the solution. It can only make the problem worse.
Yeah.
Ṣé wọ́n láàánú ibi táàánú ń dìde fún yín ẹ wá somi fún wa Ọlọ́run ó dìde àánú sí yín ẹ̀mí yín ó gùn adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín gidigidi pòlómi èyí tá a rí tá a ní dààmú lóru ọpẹ́ nìní.
A ti dojúkọ ìṣòro omi ládùúgbò wa àwọn ìyàwó wa gbogbo ìgbà wàhálà omi ni a sì wá omi títí à ń bẹ àwọn tí ó wà fún wa lómi àti wọn ò dá wa lóhùn ṣùgbọ́n a yin àwọn red community pé àwọn náà máa tẹ̀síwájú torí wọ́n rẹ̀ wá lẹ́kún omi pẹ̀lú àwọn ìyàwó wa tí wọn ò súnlé lásìkò bá gbé báyìí bá ti dago mẹ́rin wàhálà ni à ń lọ pọnmi ní àsìkò ẹ̀rùn.
Thank you, Bread Community. Thank you, Bitcoin Mandela.
You muted, Mike.
Make meme coins based again. Mims, how excited does this get you again for just again, 2024, the greatest time to be alive.
Man, I love that. I love that. It reminded me of the time we went to Ghana. Definitely got to go back to the motherland. Nothing but love there, good vibes, and I mean, it's a good thing to see. And they point on a good fact, like you said, Mike. You can't vote and rely on somebody to come and save you and do something for you. And it's not the government that does. It's usually outside people. Industry, innovation. And obviously in this case, a meme coin. Brett, that community. But that's how powerful, that's what we all have, when we as a community pull our resources together, to impact and make some real change, so that was a beautiful thing. Great way to start the show.
Yeah, man. And again, just to think that this is from just a meme coin and, people's lives are changed all across the world is truly inspiring. And speaking of inspiring memes, I told you we've got to cover this because I listened to the entire Robert F. Kennedy Jr. speech. And I don't know if I've ever been so proud to be an American. The patriotism, the sacrifice that he brought up really rang true of his uncle, John F. Kennedy Jr., when he said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And so Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a son of Bobby Kennedy Jr., JFK's brother, who was assassinated a few years after him. And so, just to set the scene, in case you guys aren't political or into that thing, like the Kennedy name is the Democrat Party, or has been. Like, people literally called themselves, I'm a Kennedy Democrat, because his uncle embodied such of what the Democrat Party used to be.
Yeah.
But as I've, trying to explain to you guys, the Democrat Party is totally different from what it used to be even just 10 years ago.
Facts.
Mims, anything you want to add before we just watch this short clip?
No, I just would second everything you just said. I agree 100%. Obviously, the Democratic Party is totally 180 from what it used to be. And we're seeing that. We're seeing people leave the party. And, obviously, this is huge, what Robert Kennedy's done. So, go ahead and roll it.
And if you guys are watching, you know that we're shadow banned and censored, and we're going to get into that here in a little bit. Like this video, share it out, tag some people, drop us some comments to break the algorithm. But without further ado, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. tried to run as a Democrat. They blocked him. Tried to run as an independent. They blocked him. Here's his statement.
This is a spiritual journey for me. I reached my decision through deep prayer, through hard-nosed logic, and I asked myself, what choices must I make to maximize my chances to save America's children and restore national health? I felt that if I refused this opportunity, I would not be able to look myself in the mirror, knowing that I could have saved lives of countless children and reversed this country's chronic disease epidemic. I'm 70 years old. I may have a decade to be effective. I can't imagine that President Harris would allow me or anyone to solve these dire problems. After 8 years of President Harris, any opportunity for me to fix the problem will be out of my reach forever. President Trump has told me that he wants this to be his legacy. I'm choosing to believe that this time he will follow through. His son, his biggest donors, his closest friends, and all support this objective. My joining the Trump campaign will be a difficult sacrifice for my wife and children, but worthwhile if there's even a small chance of saving these kids. Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country and our children is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
Boom. Man, that right there, the only way to save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other. And again, you got to think of the pain and suffering and criticism he is going to take from his friends, his family, people, some people who have even supported him, for a Kennedy to run for president as a Democrat and then as an independent, and then to see that to save this country, he needs to unite right? Avengers unite forces to defeat this Marxist and communism that has taken over America and the Democrat Party. Mims, your take?
Yeah, I mean, it should be a wake-up call. You know, it's quite clear. Obviously, Bobby Kennedy wouldn't just do this if, like he said, he really didn't feel like this was the last chance. This is the last hope to try to save America, try to save the children. You know, that's something that you don't hear from the Kamala Harris campaign. You know, you don't hear them talk about these issues and their policy towards them and how they can address them. But instead, it seems that their policies are for war and division and no borders and, you know, money printing. I mean, you know, so, you know, like I said, this is what a time to be alive. And I agree. I think that it's a good thing that Kennedy joined Trump and they are forming, you know, like you said, the Avengers, you know, coming back to really, you know, look out for the American people, you know, look out for the children, look out for the elderly, look out for the veterans, you know, look out for those who deserve it and not, you know, other governments and illegal undocumented immigrants.
No, 100%. Let's finish this up here. Just about 1 more minute.
That's why I launched my campaign to unify America. My dad and uncle made such an enduring mark on the character of our nation, not so much because of any particular policies that they promoted, but because they were able to inspire profound love for our country and to fortify our sense of ourselves as a national community held together by ideals. They were able to put their love into the intentions and hearts of ordinary Americans and to unify a national populist movement of Americans, Blacks and whites, Hispanics, urban and rural Americans. They inspired affection and love and high hopes and a culture of kindness that continue to radiate among Americans from their memory. That's the spirit on which I ran my campaign and that I intend to bring into the campaign of President Trump. Instead of vitriol and polarization, I will appeal to the values that unite us, the goals that we could achieve if only we weren't at each other's throats. The most unifying theme for all Americans is that we all love our children. If we all unite around that issue now, we can finally give them the protection, the health, and the future that they deserve. Thank you all very much.
Yeah.
And I know, Mims, this, you know, this means a lot to you. So if, yeah, clap it up, guys. One of the greatest American speeches I've heard in the last 50 years from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as a lifelong Democrat has fully supported and backing President Trump. Trump has announced that he will be somewhere in his cabinet and is going to be also on the transition team of selecting people for the Trump presidency once he wins. But Mims, you know, RFK is all about health and making America healthy again. You know, maybe speak to some of those issues and some solutions that RFK and people like him, like Dr. Eric, you know, have in mind to help America get healthy again.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of information out here where that corporations and what they put in the food and the water and stuff. And those are the hearts that really affect Americans. Those are the issues that people really care about. You know what I mean? I care about the quality of the food. I care about the quality of the water. You know, I care about our children's education, you know, care about the people. And that's where their campaign is led from, you know, and it's a heart issue, you know what I mean? Not so much of a mind. And, you know, like I said before, I'm just excited to see this because there's so much, there's not that much good news out there. You know, we're seeing all this negative news and you know, a lot of fear and uncertainty and doubt with the wars and the economy and just a division and everything else. It feels good to hear, you know, a message that you can get excited about. It feels good to see some opportunity presenting itself that could actually, you know, save this country from being divided and torn apart. And so, you know, it's a beautiful thing. I just, you know, I'm excited to be alive and witness this and document this and watch this transition take place. I'm very optimistic.
No, 100%. I mean, I kind of thought this could happen, but if you would have told me this like a year ago that a Kennedy was going to unite forces with Trump, I would have told you were crazy. Marco Washington bring up a great point. He's the only politician asking the question, why the hell does the FDA allow banned substances in our food when other industrialized nations don't? You guys just look at the most basic food we eat with what we get and what they have in Europe, it's completely different. Most of the stuff in our food, Europe doesn't even allow in their countries because it's basically been proven to be poison.
Yep. Chemtrails, fluoride in the water. It's all kind of stuff. And, just big pharma and, all the lies that we've been told about our health. This is, like I said, it's a great awakening. We're being exposed to the truth and about our financial system, how to heal our bodies, the political system, everything. So, like you said, Mike, those who got eyes to see and ears to hear, this is the time.
So, man, I was just pumped up all weekend. I watched RFK's speech, and then later that day, President Trump welcomed him up on stage, and I just got goosebumps for this. Truly American history happening right here. To me, it's the death of the Democrat Party.
Bobby and I will fight together to defeat the corrupt political establishment and return control of this country to the people.
And don't you want a president who's going to get us out of the wars and who's going to rebuild the middle class in this country, who's going to protect America's freedoms, that's going to make America healthy again?
I think what RFK's endorsement really shows is that the Kennedy Democrats are actually more at home in the Republican Party of Donald Trump.
Today I'm honored to officially welcome another true American patriot.
Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or an independent, if you love our country, as I do, if you cherish peace and freedom as we do, I invite you to join me in doing all that we can to save our country and elect President Donald J. Trump and send him back to the White House to do the tough work of saving our country and serving the people. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Wow. Chat, is this real? Chat, is this real?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me, bro?
That Wonder Woman?
Dude, first of all, I have been a huge fan. That is Tulsi Gabbard. She was a representative from Hawaii for over 10 years, served in the military. Her and Ron Paul were very much aligned when she came out in 2008. So I've been a huge Tulsi Gabbard fan for well over a decade. Even though she's been a Democrat, she's ran as a Democrat. I don't look at parties. I look at policy. So I didn't agree with Bernie Sanders, but at least I respected him. At least you know what you were getting. At least he was truthful. At least I think he was trying to help America and its people. But I mean, the Democrat Party today is just completely lost, which is why RFK has left, Tulsi Gabbard has left, Elon Musk has left. Mims, the Avengers are uniting, man, and that's why I'm so positive right now.
Yeah, facts. I mean, it's just confirmation. It should force, the American person, the average hardcore Democrat to really think about, what's going on, the real issues, the real policies, who's really for America, who's not just getting caught up on race and gender, all those things that divide us. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I was excited to hear, Tulsi coming on as well. And then of course, obviously you mentioned with Elon, and then obviously Kennedy, and then who knows who's next. You know what I mean? It's a movement. There's really a movement, and we haven't seen anything like this before. That's what I'm saying. We're living in the most significant time period ever. We haven't seen this type of a movement and excitement and just everything that's going on right now. And I'm telling you, every day I wake up and I'm like, what's next? It just seems like every day there's something, especially as we get closer to the election. But we're not out the woods yet, because I know that the deep state and, whatever you want to call them, they ain't just going to take this line down. They're definitely going to try something.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is why we're talking about this stuff more, guys, is this is not, like I said, this is not red versus blue. This is not Democrat versus Republican at all. Like, this is the time to unite. And I don't like the Republican Party. Before Trump, I hated Mitt Romney. I hated John McCain. I didn't vote for either of them. You can go back to my old Facebook. I was literally like, all of these people are trash. It's a uniparty. They're all deep state. They all want more war. They all want to keep us poor. It was the illusion. But you guys have to see everything they have done to try to get Trump has fallen flat. It has been debunked. It has been exposed as a scam. We could literally spend the next 20 days talking about it. One after one, Russiagate,
CIA,
the CIA, Biden laptop, like the list goes on and on. The court cases, it was all fake because he is the first president, really the first person to actually, step up to the deep state, to the uniparty, to the powers that be, and that's why they've tried everything to get rid of him.
Yeah, he's not a politician. He didn't come up, in their circle, part of their club, and they know that, and that's why they don't like him. That's why they don't want him. They've been getting away because they've monopolized power to the top. And Trump, to me, he's like Agent Smith in the Matrix. He was part of the Matrix, benefited from the system, and at some point something happened, and now he's working against, the establishment. It's just wow. It's just wow.
I knew I loved you for a reason, Marco. Yeah, I mean, Ron Paul was the guy that woke me up in 2006. Until then, I had no idea. I thought red good, blue bad. And since, and Ron Paul woke me up to gold and silver. Ron Paul woke me up to the Federal Reserve. Ron Paul woke me up to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So to me,
and the Fed.
Ron Paul is my political granddad.
Yeah, I love Ron Paul because he was the only politician who was talking about end the Fed.
Yep.
He exposed the monetary system. And I'm telling you, that's public enemy number one.
Mm-hmm.
The Federal Reserve is public enemy number one. And the founding fathers talked about this and everything else. But yeah, big fan of Ron Paul as well.
So I woke up today to find this, Mims. And this is, again, why we're winning is this can now not, again, another conspiracy theory, using air quotes, if you're listening on the podcast, has been completely debunked, even though we knew it the whole time.
Yep.
So breaking today, Mark Zuckerberg just admitted to working with Biden-Harris administration to censor Americans. Either admitted to this because he's being honorable, probably not. He's done with the Democrat Party, maybe. He's getting ahead of a whistleblower, probably.
Right.
This is a very hard letter to write, but I actually want to bring this up on the screen. I guess that might be as big as we can make it.
Yeah, can't see anything.
So I'm just going to read this third paragraph here. In 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not our enforcement in the wake of this pressure. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. I also think we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. So you guys can find that all over. That's an official document released from Mark Zuckerberg. And guys, X was even worse. Okay, and there's already been all that evidence has already been presented in congressional records. The Biden-Harris administration colluded with big tech to censor free speech in America. That is, without a doubt, the biggest violation, the most corrupt, abusive nature of any American government I have ever heard of in the last 50 years. Mims, your take on this gross abuse and this destruction of free speech by the Biden and Harris administration, using Twitter, using Facebook, using YouTube to make sure we have a 1984 style.
Yeah. No, it's just like it's just like you said, Mike. I'd see more and more information coming out exposing them. The people in their party are going to flip who they've pressured, who's worked with them. They're going to flip because they see that they're losing, and that's what happens. People start to see they lose. People start to turn coats and go to the other side, ask for mercy, and everything else. So we're going to see more and more people start to flee the Democrat Party and start to expose the corruption that has been taking place. Like you said, the violation of our constitutional rights, the violation of our privacy, the violation of our freedom of speech and things of this nature. The government is not supposed to be used in this manner to censor, and to manipulate and control, especially during election time. Especially, I mean, it's literally, they just subverted your vote. They just took away, your ability to make an informed decision, and that would have saved a lot of people, because how many people still got the jab and get the booster and everything else. And some people were putting out information trying to help people understand that you didn't have to necessarily do that. You shouldn't have done it, right? And a whole lot. I don't want to say too much and get the thing cut off, but it's crazy. It's crazy. And like Marco got on there. Yep, the Hunter Biden laptop, all that stuff is true. There's some even deeper, darker stuff that's not being talked about. Oh man, heads are gonna roll. Okay, for what they've been doing to the children. Okay, heads are gonna roll. This stuff is getting exposed. So a lot of the stuff that people say, oh, conspiracy theories about pizza and all this and that, you're gonna find out real soon. You're gonna find out.
That's a perfect segue. Here's a joke for you guys. What's the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth? Just about 18 months. So here is Josh Hawley questioning Mayorkas, who I think, I could be wrong, I think he's head of some head Department of Homeland Security. I could be wrong. Still in power, and here he is, bold-faced lying under oath. This man needs to be in prison ASAP.
We have example after example of this administration, coordinated apparently, according to a federal court, by your agency, pressuring, coercing social media companies to engage in censorship. Is that constitutional?
That is unequivocally false.
Is what the emails show.
It is unequivocally false, Senator.
You are not pressuring the big tech companies to take down accounts. You are not meeting with them to ask them to censor on your behalf.
That is correct. We are not.
Here's my point.
That's flat out perjury right there.
Mr. Secretary, it has been established for years in this country, as you very well know because you're a lawyer, that the federal government may not use private third parties to engage in activities that are unconstitutional. That's exactly what you and this administration are doing. You are leveraging private companies to carry out censorship on your behalf. It's dystopian, but worse than that, it's unconstitutional.
It's also false.
You're a liar, and I hope to see you in prison.
And I hate that you see honorable next to their name.
Yeah.
It's disgrace. They need to get.
But we were told, Ricardo, we were crazy. We were conspiracy theorists to believe that government would use big tech to censor the truth and Americans. And now here we are today.
Turn now to claims he was pressured by the White House to censor content related to COVID-19 during the pandemic. Aaron Katersky joins us now with details. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning to you, Whit. For years, critics have taken aim at Facebook for silencing views that challenge the general consensus in the medical community, especially about the origin of COVID-19. Now, Facebook's founder surprisingly says they're right.
This morning, Meta chief Mark Zuckerberg admitting he bowed to pressure from the Biden administration to censor content. The Facebook founder issuing a letter to the House Judiciary Committee that said senior administration officials pushed the social media platform to censor posts about COVID-19 and expressed a lot of frustration when the company resisted. Zuckerberg saying, "I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it." Adding, "I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction, and we're ready to push back if something like this happens again." House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan celebrating the letter, calling it a big win for free speech.
And again, guys, that's what this comes down to. I don't care what your political beliefs are, but I would hope that we can believe in free speech, that we can believe in at least being able to tell your version of the truth without being censored or banned or persecuted or thrown into prison. I mean, that used to just be a given, Mims, but not anymore, because Marxism has introduced the idea of hate speech, and we can't allow hate speech. Now, who decides what hate speech is? Whoever has the power. So here we are, Mims. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, now you start to see why they went after Trump so hard. Are you going to vote for a felon and all this stuff that they've been doing, like you said, with Russiagate, and I mean, obviously the assassination attempt and everything else. Now you see why there's such a hot smear campaign, because All this stuff is going to get exposed, folks. All of it's going to get declassified. All right. They talked about the JFK assassination becoming declassified, and Trump talking about how, I forgot who he said, begged him not to declassify that information when he was president. Well, it's going to get declassified now. And I have an idea, and we have an idea what type of people are actually behind all of this. And it's going to get exposed, so just, I'm telling you that you can't make this stuff up. What's getting ready to come. And it's really going to destroy people's zeitgeist, their worldview, the way that they thought how things ran, as this information and exposing of the corruption in the system continues to move forward.
No, 100%, man. And just a few other, there's so much news, guys. I'm just going to try to give you some highlights here. Another just astonishing story to me today was Kamala Harris and Joe Biden skip Arlington Memorial Ceremony for the 13 troops who died in Afghanistan on the 3rd year anniversary. This is when we started the evacuation, I believe. Only one former president showed up. His name was Donald Trump. He helped lay the wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. The disdain these people have for our country just knows no end.
Not a good look, Joe. Not a good look.
No, who cares? Joe's done, bro. He's in a rocking chair, drooling on himself.
Right. Facts. Yeah. Obviously, it's as clear as day. This is what I'm saying. Something is going to happen here because they're exposed, but they're going to move forward with an agenda, and they have things at their disposal to create another distraction, to create another event, to try to subvert the will of the people. They have these think tanks and ideas how they can create and ferment more chaos. And you already see the links that they were willing to go to. I mean, we just broke down the lie of 2020. The whole world was shut down. And now the information is coming out about who was behind it, the lies that were told, the information that was suppressed, right? This is huge, okay? This is huge. And when Trump gets in there, it's over for them. There is no, Trump talked about, I could have locked up Hillary, but how would that look? The former president, Bill Clinton, his wife, I locked her up, whatever have you, because of, what she's done, with the emails and the lies and the corruption that they've done in the Obama presidency and over there in Libya and Christopher Stevens and all this stuff. There's so much that they just swept under the rug that is now going to come out and get exposed, and heads are going to roll.
Forget, old has-beens. I mean, we just got to end the deep state and the federal bureaucracy. If that doesn't happen, nothing's going to change. Yeah. Some other big news: Russia to start using crypto for international transactions next week. That is huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
This
XRP, baby.
This is wild here. I literally couldn't believe this when I heard this today. This guy's funny. He is on TikTok. He's always just eats and then just makes like a 10-second remark. And you're like, wow.
California is now proposing 0 interest and 0 down for illegal immigrants buying a home. What's even the point of being an American citizen anymore? California is now proposing 0 interest and 0 down for illegal immigrants buying a home. What's even the point of being an American citizen anymore?
And Mims, we rarely talk about race on here, but I want to get your perspective as a black man in America. How does that make you feel that people literally can come across the border last week, not be American citizens, and get 0 down and 0% interest rates on a home?
They're getting $150,000 down payment.
Yeah.
They get $150,000 out in California, and it's not just California that's doing that policy, but it's an insult, because our people have been voting Democrat for decades, and we've been asking for reparations. We've been asking for funding for education. We've been asking asking them to take care of us and do this. And now you see how they really feel about us, what their policy is towards us. And unfortunately, some people are still buying into the, oh, she's the black president, we got to vote for her. You know, she went to the HBCU, and they're getting caught up on all the irrelevant issues and not really seeing the wolves in sheep clothing. You know, but it's an insult. It's an insult. We need reparations. You know, every other community has got reparations except our community, except the black community, you know. And hopefully, like I said, the Democrats wake up. I think that, you know, they're going to lose horribly. And apparently, I think they're going to have a debate sometime soon, Trump and Kamala. And she doesn't know, you know, her word salad. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. And it's just going to be probably just as embarrassing, I would think, as Joe Biden up there, from what I've seen from her. But it's just being exposed. It's clear as day. The line is being drawn in the sand. You know, here, count down. We're counting down to the days of this election, man.
No, and again, that's why I'm so positive. Like, you know, historically, 90+% of Black Americans have voted Democrat. And this is kind of the first time I've seen a major cultural shift, right? With so many different celebrities, especially music, rappers coming out in support of Donald Trump. This one I just found today from my hometown. Breaking Billboard charting Detroit, Michigan rapper 42 Doug is releasing a song where he endorses Donald Trump to the surprise of everyone. This is a major for Trump's momentum. This is the third song a mainstream rapper has endorsed Trump in the past 30 days. I'll play a second of it.
You don't like snitches, me and Trump the same nigga on my red hat, red back matching the soda. I got them turned, say it's our turn, we need them voting. Immunity, free cheese, we need them both.
All right, so there it is, guys. I mean, just the change of the culture, right? Like all of us that are coming together to unite, to think about our children, to think about health, think about ending war, to think about, you know, reducing debt, actually, you know, having a border, a country. We are the Avengers, right? We must all unite to stop this craziness that's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the same thing that Democrats try to do. They know how, you know, our people are moved through music and culture and things of that nature. And obviously you can see this is organic, where people are just seeing the BS. And, you know, they're realizing, you know, they're better off with Trump. You know, even with Trump, you know, Ice Cube had the platinum. I think it was, well, no, Trump had the platinum plan. I think Ice Cube had a plan for Black America. Democrats wouldn't meet with him. You know, Trump would. You know, Trump put a plan together for the Black community, you know, and took care of HBCUs and other things of that nature. People don't know because the mainstream media won't tell you all the good things that Trump has tried to do. He was even at the, what was that, the journalist?
Yeah, the journalist one in Chicago that they basically
Black
walked down and
journalist
called him a
one.
racist right away.
Yeah. You know what I mean? He put himself out there at least. You know, but you don't see that from the other side, you know, so it's kind of obvious who's real and who's fake, you know, at this point.
So I'm not gonna go through all of this, but this might be something we do next week. But I just posted this on my Twitter. If you guys are not on X, okay, get an X account. Okay, it's basically the only place I can find real news that actually is kind of supporting freedom of speech. So take a screenshot of that, read it later. Follow us. I'm Michael Tharp, EDU. You are Wealth and Assets.
Yeah, Wealth and Assets.
Just an N between Wealth and Assets.
Yeah.
So last thing tonight, Mims, that I know you've been waiting for, and Marco, it's like you're reading our mind tonight.
Yeah, National Academy of Black Journalists. Yeah. I got you, Marco. Thank you, brother.
And yeah, Kamala didn't even go to that. She's supposed to do a Zoom, and she backed out on that too.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, well, actually, so this week, the leader, the CEO of Ton Telegram Coin, which is one of our favorites, okay, got arrested, and so there was a dip in it. Now, I wish I would have been around because I probably would have bought that dip. It wasn't too bad. I mean, it went from 684 to $5 or so, which in crypto isn't that big of a deal. But this is why I was such a big proponent of Telegram or Toncoin, because Telegram is, I think, the world's #1 encrypted messenger app service that won't censor or turn over, IP addresses or user information. So most people, most of the people, Mims, I watched in 2016 no longer exist. They were banned, they were canceled, they were jailed. So basically everyone had to go underground, and most people who wanted to find the truth, especially before X came out, had to go to Telegram. That was the only place. We were just kind of like these rejects, thrown out of normal society because we wanted to hear the truth.
Yeah,
So,
it's crazy.
Yeah. So we're going to let Redacted take this. We'll make some few comments, but this is a must watch, guys.
Telegram, Pavel Durov arrested in France at the behest of the U.S. government, who perhaps was working on behalf of Israel. This is a relevant question, and here is why. Durov was arrested in France this weekend because they say Telegram has insufficient moderation and is widely used by criminals. They say that because Telegram's operational policies, meaning it does not censor and does not cooperate with law enforcement, means that it indirectly supports illicit activities. But Telegram is the one social network that has not played ball in censoring leaked emails and leaked documents from Israel. WikiLeaks and the Israeli paper Haaretz are reporting that due to a massive hack of the Israeli government, Israel is trying to censor the whole internet. Here is the story from WikiLeaks saying because of this, Israel hackers stealing troves of sensitive Israeli data, that Israel is now just waging war on the whole internet. Here is the full and extensive report from Haaretz. Now take a look at this for a second. Look at the date on this, published October 21st, days before the Telegram founder was arrested. And in the lead, it is very clear that Telegram is the place that Israel is not able to control. It says links allowing anyone to download these breached files published on Telegram. Now, what they say here is that it was from Iran, but the story does not prove that, so it's not corroborated. Here is they say who they say the hackers are, that the hackers are pro-Palestinian forces that are often fronts for Iran's semi-official cyber intelligence hackers. They present this with no proof, so we don't know who did it. We just know that it's people with an anti-Israel bent. Or maybe even not an anti-Israel bent. They just want Israel to do better. That's possible too. A lot of Israelis are anti-Israeli government, so let's keep that in mind. Now, later in the piece, we see just how much Telegram is resisting censorship from Israel. It says sources explain that Google or Meta will take down a page if it is shown to be directly linked to Hamas. Amazon will remove a website for hosting terrorist materials. On Telegram, content cannot be taken down with such arguments. Only clearly stolen goods will be taken down, making content claims that only effective route for Israel's legal authorities. The data speaks for itself. According to official numbers provided by Israel, the Justice Ministry has sent Facebook over 40,000 successful requests to remove content, illegal content. They are not pro or anti-Israel posts, but rather content that is illegal by Western standards. Even TikTok has taken down 20,000 posts. Telegram, however, just 13,000.
You missed a word. Even TikTok has taken down over 20,000 posts that were flagged by Israel.
By Israel.
Yeah.
So these are the social networks that are playing ball, doing what Israel wants. Telegram is not.
All right, we got to stop there, Mims, because you might have to make this make sense. Why is there any country in the world telling any social media what to do? Where are we living here?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Obviously we see who's running the world, who's behind. The same people who are behind a lot of the problems in the world are the same people that's trying to censor and eliminate your ability to hear the truth, to hear, what's going on. No good news comes out of there. Right now it's just all bad news. And that's another thing that's being exposed right now. And that's biblical. What's going on right now, it is biblical. And a lot of people are waking up to, who and what they are, and what they represent. And it's just like she said, even some people in Israel are against their own government because they see the crimes against humanity that's taking place. Even Orthodox Jews don't go along with this agenda that they have and the massacre that they're doing over there. It just gets worse. But once again, they're being exposed for who they are and what they're about. And the world is going to wake up to that, and we're going to see change.
And for me, I want to buy more Telegram now, more Toncoin, because it sounds like they're really one of the few standing up to this country or this type of censorship. So here is a sit-down interview the CEO of Telegram did with Tucker Carlson, where he talks about this.
Watch this.
We get too much attention from the FBI, the security agencies, wherever we came to the U.S. So to give you an example, last time I was in the US, I brought an engineer that is working for Telegram, and there was an attempt to secretly hire my engineer behind my back by cybersecurity officers or agents, wherever they are called.
The US government should hire your engineer?
That's my understanding. That's what he told me.
To write code for them or to break into Telegram?
They were curious to learn which open source libraries are integrated to the Telegram's app, on the client side, and they were trying to persuade him to use certain open source tools that he would then integrate into the Telegram's code that, in my understanding, would serve as backdoors.
Would allow the US government to spy on people who use Telegram?
The US government, or maybe any other government, because a backdoor is a backdoor regardless of who is using it.
That's right. And that's a little surprising to hear. Maybe it's not surprising. It's offensive. You're confident that happened?
Yes. There is no reason for my engineer to make up the stories. Also because I personally experienced similar pressure in the US. Whenever I would go to the US, I would have two FBI agents greeting me at the airport, asking questions. One time I was having my breakfast at like 9 a.m. and the FBI showed up at my house that I was renting. And that was quite surprising. And I thought, we're getting too much attention here. It's probably not the best environment to run.
Why would had you committed a crime?
No. They were interested to learn more about Telegram. They knew I, left Russia. They knew what we were doing, but they wanted details. And my understanding is that they wanted to establish a relationship to, in a way, control Telegram better. I understand that they were doing their job. It's just that for us running a privacy-focused social media platform, that probably wasn't the best environment to be in. We want to be focused on what we do, not on government relations of that sort.
Government relations.
Yes, that is funny, right? Government relations. You want an example of how the government wants relations with social media? Look no further than this declaration from Twitter executive Yoel Roth. We showed you this last year, dated December of 2020. Look it up for yourself. He admits here that he had weekly meetings with the Director of National Intelligence, Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and industry peers. He admits weekly meetings. So we know that the United States wants these kind of relationships with social media networks. And when they don't get them, ellipsis. Here we are. Fill in the blank, right? So would the government, the U.S. government, do this on behalf of Israel when it looks like they're pretty motivated to want to do this without Israel? Would they both do it? These are relevant questions, and we just don't know. It's worth noting that Durov is a Russian-born citizen of Russia, but he had French citizenship, which he obtained maybe he shouldn't have, in 2021. Russia is trying to get answers about why France is detaining one of their own. And France is saying, we don't have to answer to you because he has French citizenship, and we perceive that as precedential. Now, according to the New York Post, he left Russia in 2014 because he refused to hand over encrypted user data to Russian officials, which he then later on went on to sell. But it's not the Russian government that arrested him. They're the only ones speaking for him. In fact, French President Macron is saying, here's what he said about this on X. This is a translation of his post. And he's saying, well, you know, it's part of an ongoing judicial information. It has nothing to do with a political decision. It's up to the judges. But in France, are you not allowed to know when there's an ongoing investigation around you? Because Telegram is saying he didn't know that he was in any kind of hot water at all. That's why he went to France. The EU is also not about to push back on this. They're saying, yeah, sorry, we don't comment on individual cases or ongoing investigations. And this is a question for the relevant member state. So, okay, here are two more relevant posts I'd like to share with you about this. The first is from the account End Wokeness about free speech platforms currently under attack. They talk about here, can we go further to the next one? Are you able? Yes. Okay. UK mass arrests for citizens for memes. France arrests the founder of Telegram. Ireland tries to ban mean memes. Brazil, X has to flee because they won't comply with censorship. EU tries to blackmail Elon Musk. The United States, Colonel McGregor is doing the same. The United States, the Department of Justice jails someone for a meme. In Colombia, Maduro blocks all access to X. Free speech is under attack.
So this is where we're going to end tonight, guys. If this is not a wake-up call, I don't know what is. We see, if we don't have free speech, nothing else matters. We can have all the Bitcoin, all the gold and silver, all the land, but if you don't have free speech, it's only so long until you're in the gulags, you're in the prison, your wealth is stolen, and obviously don't go to France to try to escape because they ain't helping you. Mims, I mean, this is it, guys. This is the time to fight. Free speech is under attack. We need all real Americans to unite with the Avengers to defeat this deep state and these evil groups of people. Your take?
Yeah, brother. I'm like we said, when we started out, man, we're fired up and excited, you know, because this is the exposing of the wicked ones, the corrupt ones, you know what I'm saying? The evil ones. You know, and so all this has to take place. The division, everything has to take place. But understand that this is in our favor. You understand? So if you're staying aware of what's going on and you're aligning yourself with the truth, if you're aligning yourself with positivity, you're aligning yourself on the right side of history, you know, you're going to be able to do something that has never been done before for your family. You know, we get excited because we know that we're in the right assets. We know that we're accumulating, you know, the right physical and digital assets and getting the right information and aligning with the right side of history, you know, and there's going to be more, you know, chaos and uncertainty, you know, but it's us, it's you and I, it's people who share this information that help wake up, you know, one person at a time and really start to impact and create some positive change on the planet. So, like I said before, man, this is one of the most significant time periods ever in history that we're alive in right now. And, you know, I say it all the time, if you didn't come from a wealthy family, it's the opportunity to make sure that a wealthy family comes from you. Assets are going to skyrocket. More wealth will be created. And if you align yourself with the right information, the right people, the right assets, and you take the right right action, okay, you're going to change your life and the lives of generations to come. So yeah, man, we're just going to keep documenting, you know, this collapse and keep being on the side of freedom, you know, and our rights and liberties.
100%, man. And they say this at the end is, why are they doing all this? Because they know they're losing. The more they lose, the more desperate they get. As you see them continue to get more and more desperate, it's just a sign that we're winning. It's like pulling your goalie at the end of a hockey or soccer game. Is basically like, we know we're going to lose, but we're going to try everything. Okay. And that's what they do. They're not going to go down without a fight. Okay. They don't like us. They want to destroy us anyways. So, you know, causing more harm and violence is nothing to them. That's what they live for, you know? So again, guys, we are dropping so much information and knowledge. There's so many things going on. If you guys are not already in our free school or in our free Facebook group, we're helping people create wealth, get assets, shift your mindset during these crazy, crazy times, but amazing times, because spoiler alert, truth, honesty, and love always win in the end. You guys have an awesome week. Be blessed. Like this, comment, share it out to your friends. Love you guys.